Hey everyone, it's Tim again here. And I was just thinking of a story I've told multiple times, both on here and in front of a live audience. It's the story of Ezekiel and the Valley of Dry Bones. But it's on my heart to tell it again, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. The context here in Ezekiel is this prophet is walking through Israel who they didn't only lose a battle, they got absolutely destroyed. Everything's in shambles and they don't know what they're going to do. And Ezekiel is not only prophesying that God's going to rebuild Israel, he's praying and trying to figure out how God is going to rebuild Israel. And in this story, God takes him by the hand and he leads them to a valley where an old battle had happened, and it's all just, not only are these people dead, their bones are scattered everywhere. There is no bringing them back. And God says, prophesy. Not only that, but this is what God tells him to prophesy. Dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath into you. I will make breath into you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you, and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life, and you will know that I am the Lord. I repeat, these are a defibrillator's not going to work here. I mean, they're in pieces, they're dried out, heads over here, femurs over there. And this kind of reminds me of what some of you are going through right now. You had something that was your calling, or maybe even a dream, and something happened. You messed up bad, you had a mistake, and you completely destroyed one of your bridges you had. Or there's some here where you got caught with a felony, didn't you? And nobody's going to hire anybody with a felony, not for kids, not youth, nothing. But what you once had was so beautiful just got annihilated. And now you're standing here going, well, that's never going to happen again. And God's bringing you back to it, and he's saying, yes, it is. Not only that, but I want you to tell them it's going to. Here's what happens as Ezekiel says what was written down as he says those exact words. The skeletons all rattle, they all form, and skin comes up on them, and they look like dead bodies, an actual body there. And that in itself is a miracle. Ezekiel was asking for a miracle. Now, I cannot help but wonder what would have happened had Ezekiel stopped, walked down into the valley of dead bodies, and went, okay, God did his miracle. Let's grab these bodies and let's go to war and take back the country. There's a problem with that. They're still dead. And that brings me... That brings me to a second part of it. A second audience. That's the word I'm looking for. Where you guys you've gotten down, you prayed for God to help you through something. He said he's going to deliver you and he's going to restore you. So you go and you do what God says and God delivers you and you're going, okay, God did what he wanted. I can do this now. I'm ready. But that's only half of what God said. He's not done. Wait, that's still a bunch of dead bodies out there. Now, the final thing is, if you notice, Ezekiel's final prayer is, Lord, send your spirit into this valley. That's the thing. Nothing happens without God's spirit. And sometimes you need to wait and you need to ask for God to show you what else he's going to do, or even bring his spirit upon what the plan is. Because the second he says that, then God raises up the mighty army. And then they're ready for battle. Granted, this is prophecy, and it's not really literal, but it is very similar to what a lot of people are going through today. There's people that are looking at broken dreams and that they think they can't reach. There's some that are still in the middle of a miracle, and there's some that they think they have the miracle, but they just need to ask God to help finish the job. That's all I have for this time. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.